After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 371. It is Saturday, September 6th, 2019, as we are recording. I am Arlisha, also known as Lady Fernico.
And I'm Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
Want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Fun and the Woman Cave. We're always glad to see you with us. If you are new, we hope you find something that you enjoy and that you will return. If you are returning, as always, we're glad to have you with us. If you are in the shadows, new or returning, please feel free to officially join the YouTube channel. Just press the little subscribe button on your right, I think it is, and press the little bell so you can get notifications. And consider maybe joining our PHN home group, which is phnpodcast.freeforums.net. That's phnpodcast.freeforums.net. Talia will have it in the little area where she puts information.
YouTube, yeah.
Okay, on YouTube. Okay.
As well as our Lovecraft stuff. I haven't been overly active on Lovecraft lately, but
no, me either. But
that's where our project pages live.
Mm-hmm. I haven't had a chance to put more things in. Although everything that I have up there right now does have a picture, I think now.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if everything I have up there has a picture. Everything I have up there is things that I've been actively working on.
Yeah, see, I have mostly things that are finished now. Mm-hmm. Although I think
I haven't put all my finished things up.
I think there are a couple that don't have up-to-date pictures, like my white shawl, my Lala shawl.
Right.
It's not a finished project. The project is finished, but the picture's not an FO.
Oh, you have that for retreat. Yay.
I'm not going to bring that to retreat.
Oh, you decided not to?
Not the white one.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize
I'm afraid it's going to get dirty before Christmas and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. And you really wanted it for Christmas.
Yeah. Okay, now, and I need to block it. I don't know how I'm going to block that. I think it's no, it's wool.
It's wool.
It's wool. I can block it.
Because it's undyed yarn.
Yeah, that's right. It's my bare necessities. Okay. Going right into our charities, we want to do a little plug for Evans Home and the Front Royal Pregnancy Center, which both accept baby things, and then Evans Home also does on up through adult. Okay, and our contact person for Evans Home is Gracie's mom, 62. She's our local yarn shop proprietor. That's Laura. Okay, wonderful shop. If you're in the Winchester area, you should check it out. And our pregnancy center is right down the street from us, and they're always very appreciative as well. And then if you have other things that you want to send, dishcloths or whatever, scarves, or even if you just want to send it somewhere else, Brittany B-Wing, who is Comforting Crafts, she also sends things out. And those are the main charities that we kind of like to promote.
In our PHN group, we do have an area where we talk about charity knitting. I am super behind in everything. But I know we did have that thread started.
Yes, and I think I'm up to date on. I was up to date on the tea and tails, but I think I'm behind again. But as always, there's no obligation for sending anything to us. If you just feel like you have, the call at the end to send something to us for that, we appreciate it. If you send it to somebody else or give it to something local, we don't really care as long as people are helped. But we do always appreciate. And our pregnancy center and the Evans Home always appreciates the donations. The good thing about Brittany's is she doesn't only accept like hats and scarves and things. Sometimes she accepts dishcloths and things like that, which for those of you who really like to make dishcloths but don't know what to do with them,
right?
That's a place where you can
I've
send
never
them.
been a dishcloth maker. Every time I've tried, but I don't like cotton either. I don't like anything with cotton, so that's a big problem.
Yeah. The only cotton I really like dealing with is I love this cotton, and that just
I can
depends.
work with. I love this
that.
cotton, but
Yeah.
every time I try to work something dishcloth, it never gets done ever.
Yeah, I did a couple of dishcloths, but it's a square, and I just don't like working squares. I don't know what it is. So, anyway, moving on. Okay, I'm going to talk about the upcoming before we go into our current alongs. These are things that are either happening at the end of the year or the very beginning of the year, just so you have it in mind. We have the Toy Along, which starts October 1st and goes through December 31st. That will be our upcoming that we always do every year because it's fun around Christmas time to do the Toy Along, okay? And you'll get more information on these as we hit them. But next year, we'll have the Ready, Set, Go, which is January 1st, 2020 through March 31st, 2020. And the Charity Along, which is going to be all year long. That's January 1st through December 31st, 2020. And you'll get a double entry for baby charity, okay? And we will discuss more about this also
When we're
getting closer. But these
Yeah.
are the three that are coming up in the near future, okay?
I'm not sure I consider January near future.
Well, the way we're going,
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like yesterday we were talking about Maryland Sheep and Wool not being able to go to Maryland Sheep and Wool, and here we're looking at Shenandoah now.
Yeah.
So, and retreat and everything. So, okay. Now, before we go any further, I'm sure people are wondering who won the housewarming prize. We had 11 entries, and it was the 11th entry that won. So, this is our winner is Allie G. Rose. That's Allison.
Yeah.
Okay, Allison.
I was like Allison Rosen.
Allison Roseboom, okay. Allison, you've got these two skeins of Old Lang Syne. I need you to tell me where you want me to send it. So send me an email or, see, I guess you can contact me on the PHN home.
Yeah, you
okay?
can send private messages on there,
Yeah.
and she'll get an email that
Okay.
you had sent her a private message, so
think-
she will see it.
Yeah, you can contact me on the private message on the PHN home, okay, our homepage.
That would probably be the easiest way to reach her.
Yeah. So you won both of these. Congratulations. Thank you everybody else for playing along. I was happy to see so many people wanted this. And I will send this out to you. Just tell me where it goes, because I know sometimes you like to have it sent to the States, and sometimes you want it sent to wherever it is you are out in Malaysia or wherever you're at. So that's congratulations, and thank you everybody.
I'm not a purple girl, but that's a really pretty color.
Thank you. Okay, stay there. And I'll have to rescan the one because it's not wanting to behave itself. Okay, moving right along. In other groups, okay, the Yarn I Cappy podcast is still having the Mickey Cow Cow Lao, and that goes through November 18th. And it is anything to do with Mickey or Disney or whatever, okay? Because November 18th is Mickey's birthday, officially, okay? And you can talk to her about all the rules and things like that, either on Ravelry, or maybe you can contact her through private message also through our group, or just tag her in our group and see if she can contact you, okay?
I thought I had a...
In the Crocheting Hoovian podcast group, she still has the Creature Feature Cow Cow Lao, which is going on with a Darkfire Woman, who is a Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal podcast. And they're in the third quarter still with that. Each quarter has its own theme, but you can do any kind of amigurumi you like. It's just that if you're in the theme, you get 2 chances at a prize for the FO, okay? And,
Do not lose stitches. That would be very bad.
ooh, yeah. Okay, and then we have, she also is doing Tortoise versus Hare, which she asked us to be a part of along with B-Wing. So this is an ongoing thing, and we enjoy doing this every year with her. And as we've said multiple times now, Laura has made it possible that if you, for whatever reason, are following her but are not on Ravelry, there is a way to post your projects on Facebook and via email in case you're not on Facebook either. So Laura has really made it super accessible for the people who still want to be with her group but have kind of pulled off of social media for the most part.
Yeah.
So thank you, Laura. And we are very happy to be doing this with her again, along with Brittany. That's great, okay? She also is doing Whip It Good Cow Cow Lao. And anything I say about her cows, those places, the Facebook and the email address, applies to those people who are part of her group but no longer there on Ravelry.
Yeah.
So if you want to take part in the Whip It Good Cow Cow and her Creature Feature and all that, you have those options. I thought there was one more, and I can't think of what it was. I can't remember. I'm sorry, Laura. She can post it in the group if I've forgotten something. Then Comforting Crafts is B-Wing, and she, I believe, is only on Ravelry for the cals that she does.
Right. I don't think the cows are on her Facebook
I don't think
group.
they're on her Facebook group, but you can check it out and see. She has for 2019, What Are You Reading? 19 hats for 2019, 52 dishcloths for 2019, and color work. Okay, and I haven't been able to be nearly as active on any of these cows lows that I'd like to be, but
Yeah, the past couple of weeks for me have been what's mindless. Okay, awesome. That's what I'm working on.
and for me it's just been ferrying people from here, there, and everywhere, and my day gets really caught up and tied and words. It's been divided up. Okay, fractured.
up.
You know, yeah. So I'm working about it. I'm working on it. It will, things will come together. But anyway, and then we have a Bee's Knees, who is Vonnie, and she's only on, I don't think she's on Facebook. I think she's only on Ravelry.
Yeah, I believe you're right, unless something has changed.
Unless something has changed. And Vonnie, if you're still watching us, I hope you are. If you're still watching us, please let us know if that has changed, if you have a Facebook option, or if you have Instagram that you want to do or something like that. We'd like to be a part of that. But Vonnie, I know, is all very, very busy with her master's in hand knitting that she's doing, but she's having the 19 in 2019. Okay. In our group, we already mentioned.
I think it's a master class is what it's called. It's a master. I don't think it's like a
Yeah,
master's.
it's not
as in, like, a master's degree.
I don't know. I can't remember. It's too far.
'Cause I've heard of the master class. It's usually offered by knitting guilds.
Yes.
Um,
And it takes a long time. It's a lot of work.
Yes, it is. That's what everything I've heard about it. But I just wanted to clarify: there's not some awesome college out there that's offering a master's
might
degree
be.
in knitting.
There might be. Textile arts.
It could be. I'm not sure.
I think it might be a technical school, but I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know that there'd be enough material to have a 6-year degree.
I don't know. I guess it depends if you do design work, if you do,
I guess,
the
but
history of the yarns. The
I
history
can
of
see a
spinning.
master class, but a master's degree would be.
I think you would. I think there's a
I think it'd be a
potential.
stretch.
I think there's a potential. I think it would be more likely to be the master in fiber arts. where
I
you
would
have
agree with you
knitting,
there.
crocheting, loom knitting, history of this, designing, dyeing, all that kind of stuff. But anyway,
And you'd have to go into color theory, design,
all that,
all that.
all that stuff. Okay,
It'd be the equivalent almost of a design of a like a fashion design
Yeah.
degree.
before I go into our own tea and tails and all that kind of stuff, I want to show you these flowers
It'd be like a master. It'd be like a.
from our garden.
Oh, isn't that gorgeous?
My husband pulled these out for me because he has all my rose garden. He takes care of it. I just get the benefits. So let me just put this where it won't be knocked over. Okay. There. Okay. Now, moving on to things that are in the PHN group. We have the Tea and Tails Year-Long Cal Lao 2019. This is our second year for this. It will not be going on next year. This will be replaced by the Charity Along.
Something fell, but it wasn't your flowers, so.
Okay. So this is enjoyable. And it may come back in a couple of years.
Right.
But right now, this is the last, the last time we'll be doing it for a little while.
Yeah.
So this runs all year from January through December. And
Yeah, because we weren't intending to bring it back. It was brought back by popular demand.
We were-
Yeah,
we were
we were
really
planning
happy.
on just doing it the one year.
Yeah, we were really happy that you liked it so much. So this is a Cal Lao, and I'll tell you the rules as I always do for this one, and then just change the rules for the others as they are needing to be changed. So this project must be knit, loom knit, or crocheted. Previous WIPs will be allowed, but must be worked on during the along and must reflect the theme, tea and or tails. Chatter and pictures will all be in the same thread. Projects must be tied in some way, shape, or form to tea and or tales. And for tales, we're talking about novels, novelizations, chapter books, children's books that have a
Fiction.
beginning, middle, or end, fiction. And like we said repeatedly, if you're unsure, you can ask us, but even the best bet might be go to Goodreads or to Amazon and see how they classify it, okay? Especially when we're looking at historical fiction, all right? Because sometimes they can be a little bit iffy. The FO is posted whenever it's completed. 1 WIP per project per week. The FO whenever it's finished, okay? our featured patterns and yarns, okay? First of all, our co-host for this is the lovely Cappy, okay? And our featured patterns and yarns are the Yarn and I yarns, my yarns, and did we say Laura's? No, just mine and Cappy's for
I think
this
it
one.
says yours and Cappy's
Yeah,
for this one.
Yeah, for this one. Just mine and Cappy's for this one. And it's it has to be related to tea and or tails. So our yarns and the patterns by Cappy, Laura, Talia, myself, or Vonnie, Joanna Johnson, Mom Cook. Is there one more? I think that's all of them. They just have to be related to tea and or tails.
Right, the design from that person
It has to be related to tea and or tails. Mom Cook is mostly loom knit. Joanna Johnson is knitting. Laura is both. Talia is both, although she's mostly crocheted.
yeah.
And mine, I only have the one, which is knit. Okay, so you have a variety of things all across the
But you
board.
know, my Duke, which is my one knit pattern, you can make an argument for
Well-
being tea and tails because he tended to wear.
Right, True Grit or something
True
like that is a
Grit
book. But my point is that I didn't say that yours wasn't. I
Yeah,
said yours was
I was
the
just
story.
telling people in general.
Yeah, and a yarn that's tea and tails with that.
Yeah.
So if you use a featured yarn with the featured pattern, that's 3 chances at a prize. And you've heard this ad nauseum for 2 years almost, so I'm sure you understand already.
Make sure to bring up Cappy's shawl.
Yes, Cappy Shawl is also a featured pattern. I did say her patterns, but that's the pattern we're talking about. She was very generous with us. She gave us a coupon code, very substantial one, for her
It's
Tea and Tails shawl kit, which is the pattern and the yarn. And it's absolutely beautiful. I have it. I haven't had a chance to start it because I have 30 whips in my on the go at the moment. But I can't wait to start. I'm a little nervous about doing knitting with 2 yarns at the same time.
You'll
but
be fine, Mom.
it'll be fine.
It's
and
not fun for.
it's not fun for her, yeah. And she did, and she was such a sweetheart. She knows I don't like things like fun fur and mohair, so she sent me instead a sparkle.
You know, I don't think I've ever knit mohair.
I don't like the way it feels. I know people say it's soft. I find it scratchy. I don't really care.
Well, I know
for it.
Kay really likes it. She
Yeah, but
likes
see,
the halo.
Like Debbie, Deb's Destiny, she doesn't like it. I think it's Debbie who doesn't like it. Debbie or Sheila, I forget which one doesn't like it, because they just don't like it.
Yeah, I honestly can't speak to it because I don't know. I've never felt it.
Yeah, but anyway, so that was very generous, and she also gave us a coupon code, a different coupon code for anything in her shop. Cappy is beyond generous. So, you know, if you feel that you want the kit or you want to get something for Christmas or whatever, you know, starting a Christmas gift or something like that, check out her shop. Okay,
Yeah, because we're actually looking at that time of year.
we are. That's why I said
Yeah.
mentioning the first of the year is not a stretch.
But it's different to look at buying Christmas presents. Some people buy months ahead of time.
Oh, your grandmother starts in July. Your grandmother starts the day after Christmas, or she used to, because she'd get the sales. Her paternal grandmother. I used to laugh, but she used to pick up some pretty good sales.
Some people are really savvy about that.
Yeah. Okay. Now, okay. So if you are confused because we kind of got off on a tangent, it's all in the group. Okay. The Instagram tag is hashtag PHNTNT2019 if you want to put it on Instagram. All right. Oh, let's see here. Oh, I'm good. I did get all of them.
Good for you.
Okay.
Pat yourself on the back. I'm probably going to change
Pat.
patterns here because I'm getting a little tired of having to pay attention to my fun fur.
Taya, you need to give me Valeria's.
It's
Okay.
in
because
there.
If you're not going to send it, I need to have it so
Yeah.
she can get it. Okay.
it's not in my room.
Just write out the darn thing for me, and I'll do it myself. Do it myself.
Because I actually don't have the ability to do it anymore.
No, I wasn't talking about that.
Yeah.
You were supposed to just pack it up so I could send it. Okay.
Yeah, life hasn't exactly stood still at all.
Okay, now let me see here. Okay, the cardiac dysautonomia is on its last legs. We are heading, heck, this is the 7th already? Yeah, the 7th. So we only have like 2 more podcasts before we have to close this down. So
A lot of the awareness has been happening at the end of the podcast simply because there's been so much detail with my personal journey with dysautonomia. So, and some some people might not want as much detail as we've been giving, simply because I know that a lot of people, or there are people who deal with anxiety when it comes to health related matters.
Me. Not as bad as certain people. But.
Yeah, I posted something online. She says she's not going to look at it until I get something confirmed one way or another for this particular condition.
Yeah.
Because it increases anxiety. But if you know that about yourself, it's good. That's why we put it at the end. We don't want to cause someone to have a panic attack or something like that.
And I'm not as bad as some people. It'll keep me up at night. That kind of thing. Okay. So, the cardiac dysautonomia runs to the end of this month, and the rules are basically the same, except that the projects have to be the majority of shades of red, shades of blue, shades of pink, or shades of teal in any combination you like. Just as long as it's about 50 to 75%. I think we actually said 75% of the colors.
Yeah,
involved.
I think we did say 70. It's in the
group
because I think you told someone in the group.
Yeah, and then again, please, if it's a very small project, please put 2 in the same. I'm very, very appreciative of the one person who said, "Oh yeah, I can't remember who it is now, but we thanked her when she did it." Oh yeah, this is a smaller one, and you asked us to put, and she went back and she put another one. I thought that was really awesome of her, and really appreciate that because
I think the only one we don't do that for is for tortoise versus hare.
Right.
Because if it's a tortoise, it's a tortoise.
Yeah.
If it's a hare,
it's a hare, and we don't do anything for that. But everything else, we kind of basically do that. Okay. Let me see here. The tag for that is hashtag PHNCDA2019 on Instagram, if you're doing it on Instagram. Okay, we don't really do much with Instagram, but someday we might. This might be something that could occur potentially when we do the year-long Cal next year, when we're only going to have prizes at the 6 month and end of the year, most likely, where I might decide I want to give away something, or Ty might, and we might pull from Instagram, or we might pull from wherever. Might. It's something
that's being thought about.
Something that's being thought about now that we're not on Ravelry per se, and there's so many different ways of doing
There's
things.
no per se about it. We're not on Ravelry.
Huh?
There's no per se about it. We are not on Ravelry.
What did I say?
Because we're not on Ravelry per se. There's no per se about it.
Right.
We're not on Ravelry, period.
Right.
And full stop.
I don't know what I was saying.
I know, I wasn't sure.
I know what I was trying to get across. Don't confuse me with the facts. Okay. Sorry, I have to write this down so she can get this.
Okay.
All right, so
I was just like, ooh, bright colored pen is happy. It's like a pinky kind of color.
it's fuchsia.
Yeah.
Okay, now
What was that color that they mentioned? It was in, I think it was Santa Claus, the one with Dudley Moore. What was the color? Puce? Was that
that's disgusting.
But they were trying to suggest colors for the either lollipops or the candy canes,
Oh, right.
and the guy suggested, I think he said puce.
I always think of like this
It's kind of
greeny,
greeny.
olivey, blah. And I like most shades of green and olive, that kind of stuff. That avocado.
I think he said puce, and for some reason,
Nobody has a no
I think the color that you're using is what they ended up going with.
chartreuse. I mean, fuchsia.
Fuchsia. I think they ended up going with the fuchsia.
Totally a different color. Okay, so back to the cardiac and dysautonomia. They cannot be. This is one thing I didn't remember to say for the other one. The projects cannot be finished prior to the start date.
Yeah.
Okay, but they don't have to be finished at all as long as you work on them.
Yeah.
Now, Franciscan Gypsy Designs and Lady Fernico Creations Designs and Yarn are eligible for 2 chances at a prize for the FO, and if you put the 2 together, it's for 3. Okay. We already went through the tortoise versus hare, and in the tortoise versus hare, Laura's patterns and her yarn are both featured, as are Vani's, Talia's, and mine, if it could be related to tortoise or hare. I have that lovely skein of yarn. I keep forgetting to bring it out here. I mean to cake it up so I can start her pattern. Is eligible. She's got this beautiful sea turtle colorway, which is beautiful. That's one I have. It's up there. Okay. And Be With Us, I said. We already talked
And
about
Laura's
this.
yarns are Lollipop Girl.
Lollipop Girl on Lollipop Girl Yarns on Etsy.
Yeah.
Okay. And she also has her patterns there. Laura has made herself very accessible. Her yarns are available on Etsy. Her patterns are available on Etsy, Ravelry, and Lovecrafts. So, yay. Oh, and I wanted to tell you something now that we're still here, though. Cozy Up Knits, if I'm not mistaken, and someone who's a group, Rena, in that group, Rena or Patty, or somebody else who watches Laura, Cozy Up Knits, if I'm understanding correctly, are opening up their cardi, that started September 1st, I think, September cardigan, on Facebook.
Okay.
So you have to go to their group.
I mean, I already have 2 cardigans started, and most places do want you to start it when they start it, so I'm not going to be eligible.
Yeah.
But it's good to know.
Well, this is a September cardigan, so they want to start it on September, I believe.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm not going to start another one when I have 2 other cardigans on the needles.
I think, let's see, Jamie, is it Chrissy and Katie, or Katie then Chrissy? Whoever the one is that's third, the one next to Sarah, I think she has to start another one because she was so far along. I may be mistaken.
Jamie's here where I normally am.
I think it's Jamie, Chrissy, Katie, Sarah.
Sarah's on the far end.
Yeah, I know Sarah and Jamie are on either end. It's the twins that are in the middle.
Yeah.
So whichever
and then-
one was finishing the cardigan, I don't know if she's eligible to put in or not. I mean, they can't anyway, but
Yeah.
they
I'm way behind on all things podcasting.
yeah. I am watching them as they come out. I have to go back and catch up with some of the ones for Bakery Bears because I love Bakery Bears. And I think I'm caught up with Cozy Up Knits, and with Laura and things like that. But I'm behind. Just haven't had time to watch podcasts. Okay, or even listen to them sometimes because I have to concentrate on what I'm doing.
I just haven't wanted to even think as much to hear people talk.
No, sometimes chattering is too much, and,
Yeah.
and it's not that I'm not interested in what they're saying.
No, it's just like sometimes that just takes too much effort.
Yeah, it's not that I'm not interested. It's just
I can't focus on it.
yeah. Sometimes it's too much. It's overwhelming.
Overstimulating
Yeah,
something.
it's overwhelming. So
and it's nothing to do with the podcast.
No,
It's everything to do with
absolutely
overall
not.
mental state.
it has to do with what we're dealing with at home.
Yeah.
So they are the ones that we have whittled down our list to. We think are absolutely amazing. Okay, and even some of the ones we had to let go, are
Right,
absolutely
simply because
amazing.
of time
Yeah.
constraints.
And I sometimes do go back to them, even though they're not, maybe on my regular list of things to watch, because I do enjoy them, but I just don't have time. Okay, so rough drafts. I think we each have 4.
We do.
I went first last time when I had.
My projects are never the last one to show.
Yours was last time.
They're never the last.
Yours was last time.
No, because you always had more than me.
No, we had the same.
Last time?
Or the time before. I forget which one it was.
I think you had like double what I had last time.
Yeah, it was the time before, maybe.
So,
This is so soft.
because I'm a lot nicer than Mom is.
Uh-huh.
Let me bring up.
I can take
My
a
love
hit.
crafts.
We're drinking water. We hope to have tea tomorrow, next week.
Yeah. The problem is we were running behind again.
Because I was setting up to do, I have a lot of yarn dyeing to do for the collaboration with Knitting's Magic,
Knitter's Magic.
and also my own Etsy shop. So I was doing a mad dash yesterday to get everything tied up in skeins so I could do some concentrating dyeing this week.
So, in my Plover Bird, I guess was her old medium size TARDIS bag, and it also has the fabric inside.
Yeah, she has
space.
one a little smaller, doesn't she? I think I have one that's a little smaller.
Yeah,
I have to
I have
check.
I think the first one I picked up from her might have been a Batman one. I think that's what I used to keep my medicine in.
I don't know that she has a smaller one than this. I'm looking at my thing.
No, I think she does. We just rarely got it. The very first one I picked up from her was smaller than this.
Oh, I know what I have that's smaller. It's I think I have it upstairs carrying some like toiletries and stuff like that when I travel because it's really small.
This is my Miss Bianca hat. And I actually need to keep it down because Miss Thing is in the other room. This is Luxury Lucia Faux First Simple Hat. And I'm using Field Art Phil Now Nars. The colorway is Gris. It's kind of a silvery color. And I'm going to I'm going to show you guys this isn't the the yarn that's required by the pattern, but the yarn required by the pattern was not available in the U.S. So,
I remember those being really big in the 60s.
yeah, and that's why I think she'll like it. And it's designed by Mad Monkey Knits.
That makes me happy.
Honestly, I only started working on this right before the podcast, and then during the podcast. So I've done a few rows, probably about 4.
Very nice. It's very soft.
It is very soft, actually. It's surprisingly light.
And surprisingly warm, I think.
Yeah, I think that it'll be a good winter hat. Maybe autumn.
I think she'll be wearing it mostly to church,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
But I could see her wearing it just because she wants to.
In the house and stuff. But I wouldn't say she would wear it outside if it's cold.
Yeah, it all depends on how warm it actually
Yeah.
is. But
It's so fun.
I think she'll enjoy that. And they have 2 other colors. They have a white that I really don't care for that much. And then they have
Kind of
a
that peach,
coral.
you said,
Yeah, it's kind of coral color. And if that one comes available again, I might have to pick that up if she really likes this hat.
Yeah. She's very much of a fashionista.
Yeah, and when I saw this, I was like, ooh. And I had to look up what was a good replacement yarn based on, and I'll give you guys the site again. It is called, hold on. I'm looking through my links. There it is, Yarn Substitution, and it's yarnsub.com. And you look for the yarn, and then it'll say, let's say, well, they give the example of Cascade 220. So they tell you where you can get the yarn, and then they'll say some other options. Like, for example, for Cascade 220, suggested substitutes: Knit Picks, Wool the Andes Worsted. And they'll show you how it rates in price, and then they'll say what kind of match is it. Is it an excellent match? Is it a good match? And then it'll say, you know, how much of a match it is. Like, is it, like, the excellent match, they say 99% match for the Wool of the Andes.
Wow.
But, like, for example, the Diamond Galway Heather is a 95% match. So if you're looking for a less expensive option, or an option that's available in your area, this is a good site to go to.
The link is in our
Yeah.
HM.
And it'll say, like, okay, for example, comparing Cascade 220 to Wool of the Andes Worsted. So it says, excellent match, it's low in price, the texture of this yarn is also plied, the gauge is an excellent match, but you should always swatch. The yarn is also made from non-superwash wool. The fiber content matches exactly. The quality of this yarn is a very close match. And then I have a little information, like, this yarn comes in 50/101 meter balls. For each ball of the original yarn, you will need 1.98 balls of this.
Right, because it's a 50
Yeah.
gram ball.
And it says color styles is yarn, solid colors heathers. So this is a very nice site for people who are on a budget, for people who maybe, like I did, they want a yarn for a certain project, but it's not available in their country. So it's called YarnSub, and it's yarnsub.com. And I sound like I'm doing a commercial for them, but I really do like it as an option.
Yeah, it's important.
Particularly since medical bills have made paying attention to money a little bit more important.
Which you probably should do anyway.
Well, yes. But it's made it more of a necessity than it was in the past. But yes, that's this
You're
project.
knitting a drowned rat.
I've always thought I was knitting a bunny, but that's, you know.
Well, to you, bunnies on the brain. They're gonna look at your X-ray and find a bunny in your brain.
So you think it's hopping back here, and that so when it hurts back here, he's down here. Then when he jumps up, he's hitting the top of my head, and that's why it hurts up there. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I actually follow a thing on Facebook that's like it's like bunny lovers or something. Just because honestly, the only reason I follow them on Facebook is so I can every once in a while get cute bunnies on my Facebook feed.
I get cute owls on my Facebook feed, courtesy of a very special person, Sunshine. Yes, Sunshine, I'm shouting you out. She sends me all these little owl
does
things.
she?
I love them. She puts them all on my Facebook page. I think it
Aw,
makes me happy.
that's so sweet, Sunshine.
Yeah, she's a doll. So I get them from
Because
her.
I'll steal them from other people and put them on there, but I haven't seen any lately.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where she gets them from, but
Uh-huh.
the point is she does it.
Yes.
I have a couple people who do that. She does it consistently, and as you do. But yeah. Okay. My next one is. Okay, my first one. I honestly thought I would have this finished. This is my bonfire shawl from the Sock Knitted Shawl pattern by K.F. Jones, and the bag is my Stitched by Mimi Teacups bag. I love this. And I'm really, really, really close. I think I have one more row and then the bind off. But I had to show Taya something because I saw where I dropped something or knit something. Anyway, I wanted her to look at it before I got too far. So
Does it look okay to you now?
I think so. I mean,
Okay. Because I had some trouble fixing it. What it looked like she did was she might have done a knit front and back, but then when she tried to knit over it, she might have dropped
one of them.
one of them, so it made this huge hole, and I had to try to figure out how to fix it.
I mean, I can't even see where you did it.
Okay, good. I really wasn't sure if it would be a
Because
successful fix.
I was afraid to try to fix it when I was this far. You can see I've got to the color change. And so I was really afraid of messing it up really big time and then having to just tear it out. And I really want this for retreat. So,
and I wasn't looking forward to having to tink it back if I couldn't fix it, because it's a lot of stitches.
yeah, it really is. So, yeah.
and I'm not getting paid enough to
Yeah.
tink back that many stitches.
Yeah, we'll talk about paying things a later date.
I don't get paid at all.
I don't get paid either.
I know.
Anyway,
Nice.
I have to finish the row I'm on, then I have one row, and then I have to bind off. So
You don't tink off.
No, don't tink off. Gee. So I'm hoping I'll have this done for retreat. I usually can get a row done when I'm watching a television show or a movie, but if it's too dark, I miss stitches. So I haven't had a chance to do that. I'm hoping maybe tomorrow, while I'm watching some of the videos I do for Sunday, religious stuff, that maybe I can finish a row or two of this, and I can start the bind off or whatever. Because I really want to have this. It was a little disappointing not to have it, but things after Taya fixed it, things just kind of conspired, and I couldn't get back to it.
You were trying to work more on your yarn dyeing.
Yeah, because that I do have a deadline for that.
Well, when I have PT on Monday, make sure you bring it with you.
Yes, I intend to. If it's still needing to be done, I will.
Right. Well, that's Monday.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
yeah. So I might have
so-
them, at least the bind off.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a really good PT project. Because how long did your PT sessions usually last?
Maybe an hour tops.
Okay, and I had to be checked in as a new person.
I would say anywhere between half an hour and an hour and a half.
And this is the first time, so I'd assume it would take a little longer.
Yeah.
So you had the potential of...
Yeah, I'll bring that, and I'll bring one other project.
Yeah, just in case you
I
finish it, yeah.
So, yeah, probably I'll bring in my my pattern, because I use the same bind off that Kay does, and have it written down.
Right.
So, because I haven't memorized it yet.
I just want to finish my decrease here. But that could be, make use of waiting room time.
Yeah, I
and you're going to
intend
have a ton of waiting room time on Thursday.
But hopefully that'll be done by Thursday.
Oh, yeah. I'm hoping that physical therapy will be a good time for you to finish that.
Okay.
But, okay, so...
you could just talk about the one you're doing.
I know. So in my Clover Bird Kissing Bunnies bag, this was her largest size. Like, she came out with the size right before she closed her shop, and I snagged it at the time. And this was even before, like, I liked bunnies, but this is before I really, really...
We were looking at bunny stuff already.
Were we? Okay. But this was her largest bag I'd seen for her. And like I said, this was right before she closed her shop, when she moved overseas or something.
Yeah. They're military. So.
Yeah. So I had to grab this. And this usually carries a blanket or something in it. I think at one point it used to carry designs, but... This is one of my favorite bags.
Yeah, we both have several of her bags. So,
But this one has been there for a long time. But this is my what do I call this? Little chili miter.
yeah, I think it's a little chili mitered square
It's
Afghan blanket, something like
let's
that.
see. It is based on KF. Well, I always run through this story, but this is based on KF Jones. Just a little chili mitered square Afghan, and it's based off of KF Jones Stitch in Time, or the idea behind KF Jones Stitch in Time. As I always say, she had released tutorials on the Patreon group for the Bakery Bears before she had ever released the Stitch in Time pattern, and she was just showing how she liked to do mitered squares, and that's what I based this off of, was those tutorials. Ouch! I poked myself.
She
in the
does
face.
fantastic tutorials. I think she's a born teacher.
I think so too.
I love watching her cooking tutorials.
Even though I, will never make anything that she cooks simply because.
Well, I need to have it written down for the
Right.
cooking, at least until when I'm starting, and then once I know what I'm
But
doing.
one day you might have to sit down and, particularly the $1 Million Bars, sit down and while you're watching.
Write it down.
Write it
Although I
down.
have a couple of good recipes for that.
Right. Well, the thing also, because it seems like the British recipes might do more with weight.
Yes.
And I can see how that would be more accurate. But yeah, so that would be a difference. I've never cooked anything while weighing things.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Although, like I said, I could see how that could be more accurate. But
But I've never been one who just follows exactly anyway. I'm more of a person that just, I mean, when you ask for a recipe from me, I'm like, well, a little this, a little that.
and I'm much more of an exact
Yeah.
person.
I think I'm more of an organic. Yeah.
But so I'm actually almost done with this row, because this blanket is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares across,
And these are bigger squares.
and these are bigger squares. And gosh, let's see. I'm probably about halfway.
Yeah. How wide is it going to be?
This is the width. The width isn't changing.
That's all. I just couldn't see how wide it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
so
it's only
it's not a very wide.
well, it's just an Afghan.
Is it 8 by 8?
No, it's not 8 by 8.
What is it? 8 by what?
I don't know what the length is going to be.
What? This is 8 this way?
No, 8 side to
8
side.
side to side. Okay.
And if I feel like I want it a bit wider, I can always
Add on.
add on. But it's
I don't think you need to add on.
no,
If you-
I don't think so. It's just supposed to be an Afghan. This isn't
Yeah.
supposed to be a blanket for my bed. Kind of
Well,
thing.
I guess I like my Afghans just a bit bigger. Although I'm not sure how big this is. So
Well,
it's pretty good size.
on either side of me, there are
2.5.
about 2 squares.
Yeah.
That aren't touching me.
Yeah.
So, that's good for a nap, for if you're just a little chilly. That's what I intended this for.
Yeah.
Because I have another one on needles with smaller squares that's meant to actually
bed,
be
yeah.
for the bed.
I probably would have done one more
Mm-hmm.
because I like a little more to wrap around, but it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. And like I said, this is a perfect thing that I can always add more.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not sure that I would add it. I know Kay tends to add a
border.
border. I'm not sure I will add a border.
It's not really necessary.
Yeah, and then it always leaves me the freedom to add
Add
more
on,
if
yeah.
I want to. But
You could always add a slip stitch or a single crochet, and that's easy to take out.
I don't really feel like it needs it.
I don't think it does. I'm just saying
Yeah.
if you want it to, you
Yeah,
could.
I probably won't because I don't feel like it needs it.
All these little fringy things.
Yeah, I haven't got to weave all that in at the end. But I finished this square. This is the one that Mama C gave me the yarn for. This was some of Tess Tess yarns. Is this your Lady Fernica one that
Cappy gave me?
Cappy gave you?
It looks like it, but what did I finish that I would have given it to you?
It wasn't in a turtle?
Oh, that's right. I finished the shell.
Yeah.
I finished the shell.
And I still have some left
Yeah, it's
for my
over there,
other blanket. This was I really enjoyed working with this one.
That's a pretty
The
yarn.
pop of gold that would come up, like I would look forward to that pop of gold. It was like a reward every time I hit it.
I always find it interesting when somebody does a yarn for me, what they think my character is when it comes out. It's awesome.
And then I think this gray might be from when I was doing my color work sheepy things. The color sheepy hat, the color sheepy cowl. I never ended up doing the mitts because I got frustrated with the pattern. I don't remember what that is. I think that might be more of Tess.
I don't know what that is. That's really pretty.
I'm pretty sure that's more of Tess. That looks like her yarn. Yeah. But I have a whole little... This is for all the different blankets that I have going. And I might eventually do, like...
I'm knocking all my stuff down. Sorry. I had it all perfect, and now it's going to fall down all the time again.
So, this is my bin. And I mean, I'll probably be repeating colors.
Well, that doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
That don't make no difference.
Because I have enough here that I'll be able to continue going up. And the ones that are smaller, like some of them won't be able to, like this one's too small to be...
That's your socks, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And I have it in here somewhere, I feel. But this one's too small to continue in this blanket. But it can be in the one that has smaller squares. Now this one I might still be able to get another one out of. So, yeah. Oopsie. I sit it next to me on the bed, in case, you know, for when I want to change out yarns. Because it was taking up too much room in my bunny bag. And it was getting tangled. So I stopped keeping it in there and just put them all in the bin.
Right.
Because one day I just sat there and untangled all the yarns from each other.
I wasn't completely paying attention, so I don't know why you untangled the yarns, but okay.
Because they were in the bottom of the bunny bag.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. Okay.
Good to see, you know, how important.
No, it was more focused on all the animals you kept knocking over. Okay, where is my next one? It is... Whoops, there it is. All right, it's my Bells for Baby project from the Surabelle scarf pattern by Sarah Sweethearts. And Rena, you had asked me about this, and I know you saw the answer, but for anyone else who is interested, I got it on Ravelry. I don't know if it was a free pattern or not. I wish you watched the podcast. I have an address here. A
Blogspot.
Blogspot. Rena, the Blogspot is Sarah Sweethearts, all one word, .blogspot.com. Try that.
And if she's still active on there, hopefully she'll get back to you.
Yeah, and let us know if she's still active, because I do like her patterns. I don't know if this was free. If it was free, or if you get in touch with her and she says it's okay, I'll give you a copy of it. Because Rena had asked about this. It's in my Valeria bag. And this is how I did some on this the other day. So it is making some progress. The yarns here. Now you can see it a little bit better. I like this pattern so much. It's just a beautiful
That is so pretty.
pattern.
And it'd be so good for a baby girl.
Yeah, and I'm maybe close to halfway, or maybe, I don't know. I have to check my measurements and see. I don't ever edge this because it has this beautiful little
Well, it has its own pretty edge.
edging to it.
Why would you ruin that?
And you can adjust the yarn, I suppose, if you wanted to do a fingering weight or something like that, you could. It would be lighter. And I think if it wasn't for the fact that I don't like doing fingering weight yarn, I would love to do this in a fingering or a sock, or maybe even a light sport, like my long sport, in a white for a christening blanket.
Oh, that would be nice.
It's a beautiful, beautiful pattern, and the lady who, Sarah, I don't know what her actual name is. She was just very, very sweet when I talked to her about this. I must have picked this up early on because I think the pattern.
Yeah, because you've been working patterns like this for a year of this particular pattern for years.
Yeah, I just work the count differently for whatever it is I want to work. This is just a very versatile pattern that she's got here.
Because that was always your retreat pattern.
Yeah, how many did I make that one year? I think I made like 4
you made
on
so
retreat.
many. 'Cause
I gave them away.
Didn't you give Ruth one?
I gave Ruth one, and I gave, well, did I give Mrs. Helm there? I think I gave her one there as well. I gave 2 or 3 people that particular pattern. I made cowls mostly for them. But, yeah, so that's what I have in there.
And let me finish my one last stitch here. Okay, so my next one, in my Silver Shed USA Tortoise versus Hare bag, I think we determined this was the first one. Yeah. And this is, gotta bring up the pattern name again.
Because we skipped a year in 2018 for making bags.
Others. This is my Lavender Bunny pullover. I actually need to update my picture for that. And the project, or the project is the Lavender Bunny pullover. My pattern is the Bunny Yoke pullover and hat for babies and children by Angela Hahn. And that's what it'll look like when it's finished. I'm doing the smallest size. Plus there'll be a little baby hat to go with it. And I think the size I'm making is a 6-month-old. I've been finished with the sleeves forever.
That's a pretty color.
Sleeve one. And I wanted this color because I already had other... It's very close.
I mean, it would go well if it was a shawl or something.
I wanted this color because I already had a blue project going for baby with a baby crochet blanket, and I had several things that were going that were colors that are like, well, I had pink and baby hats I was working at the time. I was like, I want something completely different than everything else that I'm working, so I chose the purple. And this is Knit Picks Brava, and it was on sale even. It's Brava Sport,
and Brava is
cheap anyway.
Inexpensive anyway, yeah.
But it was on sale.
Not cheap as in not well.
Oh no! But it was
inexpensive.
It's very inexpensive.
Affordable.
Yes. So still working on the body. It's supposed to curl like this. That's part of the design.
Little baby.
So it got a little bit of work. And it's just straight knitting, which is great right now. When I get to the top, that's when I'll hit the color.
Stuck in it.
Yeah. And it's nice in the round. Like I said, very mindless. Don't even have to worry about purling for a while. Not that purling's ever been a huge problem for me.
I thought if you were in the round, you didn't.
You don't. That's why I'm saying there's no purls.
Right.
But I'm not. But I was just qualifying that not that purling's ever been something that's bothered me.
Right. Okay.
Oops, let me put this on top.
In my Kiki Boo Owls bag, Holiday Owls bag, and this I think is Denise's medium at one time.
Yeah, I can't remember what her sizing was because I think I only purchased the one bag for you.
Yeah. This, because we have her teacups bag, and I think those are small.
I think those are ours.
I think the puzzle pieces, because we have a couple of her bags.
I don't have any puzzle pieces.
Yes, you do. She gave it to us.
Oh, that's right. We do.
So we have 3 of her bags, or I have 3 of her bags. You might have 2.
I have 2.
This is my Jazzy Toddler Hat project, and I did a fair amount of work on it at the beginning of the week, and then I didn't. But you can see that it's now past the loom, and it's starting to... I do love the way this... I Love This Yarn works up. This particular line of I Love This Yarn. It's very pretty.
Is it Prince?
This is I Love This Yarn print.
That's what I thought.
In the jazz stripe colorway, and I just love the way it works up. I did a bankhead hat in this particular line. It's a different color, and it's beautiful as well. So I think it was a different color that I used for that. I have to check my project pages.
Remember.
But anyway, so you can see I'm using a Cindy Wood loom. I believe Laura Consort gave this to me because she's awesome. So that's that.
So
This is another one I usually I'm able to crank them right out. But
Well, it's been very hard to focus. Now, I'll admit, part of my problem is when I got home, I got into a zone of wanting to read comics when I got home from work. And so that took up my knitting time because I can't read comics and knit at the same time. But I've kind of gotten out of that a little bit. Now toward the end of the week, so I was able to get some knitting done. I just didn't want to work anything that required brain power either.
right.
So that's why you have the simpler projects and not as many for me right
And
now.
we're still cleaning up. We didn't do it last week because there was too much going on. It was my goal last week to get everything out of that back room. That's going to have to be done sometime this week. I don't know if it's going to happen with all my yarn dyeing, but we'll see.
Yeah. And then my last project, I have actually a majority of plover bird bags this time.
I have actually
You have a good selection.
and all of them were given to me except for this one I'm going to show next time, and it's not even a bag.
This is another one of the plover bird bags that was one of my favorites. I call it my
So it'd be-
my TARDIS big on the inside. Yeah. Because I always felt like with this particular fabric, on the inside, it just looked like it was huge inside.
And I'm not a Doctor Who fan, but I have a Silver Shade USA TARDIS bag, and the only reason that I got it is because I lived in England for so long, and I love their call boxes. And I don't know if they're still there. Kay or Dan can tell us if they're watching.
Well, I also just like the fabric. Like this, it's not just the TARDIS.
vintage.
It has this vintagey look to it. It reminds me a little bit. One of my early bags I got from her as well was a Batman bag that looks like it's stained glass. And that's one of my favorite hers too. We haven't seen it lately because I think it has a project I'm not actively working on at this time. But so this is my TARDIS Traveler. Yeah, because this is TARDIS bigger than the inside. The project's TARDIS Traveler. And the pattern is the Dobbinwood by K.F. Jones. And I am using Yowza What a Skein.
It's really pretty.
Yes, it is. This is the colorway is Zing, Obsidian, and then this is the Bear yarn. And I'm just for a little while just straight knitting this Zing. I really look forward to eventually having this to wear. But it really matches the bag well, which is why I ended up calling it TARDIS Traveler, I think.
Right.
It is curling where the stockinette
It's gonna have to be blocked.
Yeah, when I block it, it'll take care of it.
Well, I guess because this isn't garter.
Right, and also
Yeah.
it's not curling at it itself. It's just where it meets the stockinette.
Right.
It's like it creates this almost like a seam there
Yeah.
that wants it.
That's very nice.
So
That's good to know if you make a hat or something that you want to have a brim that folds up. Somebody was talking about that. They had a hat design. I don't know if it was Cozy Up Knits or if it was Elnis Crafts. Someone was talking about a hat, and they had done, I think it was a garter. Was it a garter row? It was a different row from what they had, and so it folded and it laid flat. So I'm not sure if I want to say it was Elnis Crafts, but it might have been Cozy Up
well,
Knits.
and it's a similar idea of what's happening here.
And that's what I was saying. You can, instead of having to worry about folding it, it folds kind of naturally. You have a folding
if you
area.
don't block it, I think that once you block it, it'll
Yeah.
it'll ease up.
Unless you block it that way.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. My last one is in my Universal Studios ginormous bag that I got when my husband and I went, I think it was our 25th anniversary or 30th anniversary, I forget. We went to Florida to Universal Studios. And the project in here is my Ninja Turtle baby blanket, and I think I got 2 rows done maybe. I'm still in the green. Oops.
It's a bunny.
Oh, where's my hook? I think the couch ate my hook.
Couches do tend to do that.
Where'd it go? Well, I'll have to find it when I'm done here. Okay, so this is where I've gotten, it's just basically looks the same. You can see I started another row here. And this may be one I take with me to Thursday's doctor appointment.
Yeah. Or
I might take it with me also to the chiropractor because this is a fairly easy.
Right. Is it
Crochet?
after to work on after you finish your
Right. The next color is going to be Rafts. And if I didn't say what it was, it's the Ninja Turtle Baby Blanket from the Ninja Turtle Baby Blanket pattern by Lisa Vanilla. And I'm doing Raf no, is that right? No, I'm doing Leo first. This is the next color. It's a Celestial Blue, I think. Oh, Solstice Heather. Celestial's a little brighter. So the colors for the masks, if you're not turtle fans, you've got Leo, Raph, purple is Donnie, and orange is Mikey. So those are the colors that are going to be in this. And I'm not sure where this is going to go. We'll see what happens.
I think you intended it as baby blanket.
I think I did because I went down, I think it called for worsted weight, and I went to a sport.
Yeah.
That's Bravo Sport yarn. I don't know where my hook went. Okay.
It's probably under the
It
couch.
probably is, and I can't reach it.
Uh-huh.
All right, so that's that.
So that leads us into shop news. Just don't forget, write yourself a note so you don't forget to look for your hook.
Yeah, no hook. Okay, for shop news, I don't really have anything to show. I'm almost finished rescanning the yarn so I can put pictures up for what I showed last week so I can start listing that. And I'm really busy right now with I've made a start finally on the yarn dyeing for my collaboration with Laura, who is Knitter's Magic. And now that I know what I'm doing, I should be moving along pretty quickly for the first half of the kits. And then I'm going to decide if I'm going to continue with those colors or I'm going to do a second color. And I think I am going to do the second color, but I'm going to have to sit down and figure out how half of it's going to work. And then other things that'll go in the shop, I'll also be dyeing those up as I can. But my goal is hopefully I'm going to try to get this done for the main part of the collaboration with Laura before I go on retreat. Whether or not that happens with the doctor's appointments remains to be seen. It might be October 1st before it really gets finished, but we'll see. The other thing is I wanted to put something out there for you guys. I know I'm going to have to make my own decision on this, and it basically affects my U.S. customers more than anybody else. I'm not sure how many of you have seen Etsy is trying to get everybody to have, how do I put this, guaranteed free shipping for U.S. buyers, $35 or less. Okay, I'm a small shop. I want to give you the best deals I can give you. I feel bad about giving something like that doesn't affect my international customers, but I can't do it for international. There's no way I can afford free shipping for international orders. They had suggestions for recouping money that would be lost if I gave free shipping. I don't feel like that's quite above board. They do say that you don't have to do it, okay? I don't want to put Etsy in a bad light. I'm just saying that I feel like it would be disingenuous for me to up my prices while taking away free shipping, okay? So,
or while providing free shipping.
Yeah.
Because you're taking away free shipping.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel like it would be disingenuous to up my prices while I'm giving you free shipping, because in essence you're still paying the free shipping,
And it's just making it more expensive.
and it's making it more expensive for the people who don't get the free shipping. So if I do this, because what happens is if I don't do this, I feel a little pressured, and I know a lot of other buyers do, a lot of other shop owners do as well, because if you don't do it, you drop off the radar, so to speak, when people do searches for your yarn. So if I don't do it with a shop as small as I am, I could conceivably not be seen by people searching yarns at all. If I do offer free shipping for people in the US, my sales will be either less frequent or they will be for a lesser amount, maybe 10 to 15%.
And by sales, she doesn't mean like how many yarns she sells. She means
right. I mean,
like when this is a deal.
Yeah, a percentage off, 10%. Instead of 15-20%, it might be 10 to 15%. I kind of would like your input on this. I'm trying to make my own decision, but this is going to affect not only me but you guys. And please know that regardless of what decision I make, I am listening to what you say. It's just what I finally figure out is best for everybody as far as I can tell. It's kind of a hard decision for me to make. I'm not sure I don't want to make things worse for anybody, but I also don't want to find out I'm losing a lot of money on this, which is not my primary reason for doing it, but
you'd like to at least be in the
I'd like to
black.
at least break even, you know.
Yeah.
So tell me what you think. I'm particularly interested in the people who are in the U.S., but also people in the outside of the U.S. because it will affect you one way or the other. The people who are getting deals in the U.S., the people who are not in the U.S. will not get those deals. I probably will not raise my prices, or if I do, it wouldn't be the whole thing. It would be about half of the shipping costs. And I just want to be upfront with you about that. If I don't raise my prices, the percentage off sales will be less because I just can't take a double hit like that. So please let me know what you think. I would really like to hear from you, okay? Whether it's on PHN or private message or YouTube or whatever. Please let me know what you think, and I'll take it into account, and then I'll do what I have to do. Please know that whatever I decide, I'm trying to do what's best for everybody, okay? All right. What's next?
Reading and stuff. Well, I talked about mine a little bit. I fell down a comic book hole. Old and new Batman comics, particularly ones with Nightwing in them. So fell down a rabbit hole. I think I finally pulled myself out of the rabbit hole. But that is part of the reason why my knitting is so little. I was reading comic books because apparently I'm 5.
I've been reading, continuing to read The Power of Silence by Cardinal Sarah. I'm almost finished because I've been making a concerted push to finish it before the retreat. So we'll see what happens. I want to start something else. And I've been reading The Spectre of the Past by Timothy Zahn again. It usually doesn't take me this long to read books. I usually can read books very quickly, but I've been very divided and fractured in my ability to focus. The other thing I've been reading, because I don't want to lose track of it, is Our Shared Story, because it's been a year almost. And when we ever do get back to writing it, I don't want to be flailing about with it.
Right.
So,
Yeah, life has not been conducive towards creativity.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing for that. And we're not going to do... Boy, it's still long. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, do you have anything else to talk about?
I'm going to say generally what's coming up this week. It's not going to be a whole lot of detail about health stuff. This week was actually fairly decent, all things considered. I actually used the Rollator on non-telepsych days. I don't quite want to push it to use it on telepsych days yet because there's a lot of walking those days, and I'm trying to make it through my work week. And my doctor was actually I was happily surprised by how supportive she was about the wheelchair use to continue working. But anyway, what I wanted to mention is that I'm starting physical therapy twice a week. We'll see if it actually ends up twice a week based on my work schedule.
It's going to be essentially 24 visits.
Yeah.
Whatever that turns out to be.
Yeah. And then I'm going to be having Thursday a day off of work. Hey! To get
Fun stuff done.
yes, a special CAT scan and a special MRI. Can't just be done here in town because not everybody knows how to do these tests correctly, the way they're supposed to do to check for these particular conditions. I'm only going to mention by name the 2 conditions. People who are interested in looking things up can then look it up on their own. If you get weirded out by medical conditions, then you don't have to be subjected to it because it's awareness for dysautonomia cardiac, not for these other things. So the 2 things they're being checked for, something called Chiari malformation. If you follow me on Facebook, you might have seen the video about that. It's spelled Chiari and then the word malformation. The other thing that's being checked for is something called craniocervical instability. I may have neither of them. I may have one of them. I may have both of them.
Let's just say prayers that she doesn't have at least one of them. Just prayers and good wishes and thoughts would be very much appreciated.
So yeah, we're just checking it out. This is, like I said, a fairly good week. So I'm in that everything's fine mindset. Monday, as recently as Monday, everything wasn't fine. So it's like I go into denial very easily. I like to call it optimistic, but it's denial.
So that's what's going on that end.
Yeah.
We have the retreat is coming up, not this week, but the following week. And then Maryland Sheep and Wool is the week after that. If you see us at Maryland Sheep and Wool, me or
Not
both
Maryland.
of us, I don't know where my head is. Shenandoah. If you see us at Shenandoah, me or me by myself or Ty and I together,
We will both be there.
then stop us and say hello. We will be there when it opens until about 11:30 or 12, and then we're leaving to go eat and come home.
Yeah.
Because that's about all she can handle. It's about all I want to handle.
And I will be, regardless as to how I think I'm feeling, I will be in the wheelchair. Just because it's more conducive to us both enjoying ourselves, not to risk pushing it too much. So that is, so you'll be looking for Mom, possibly with her normal hat.
Yeah, I don't know what hat I'll be wearing, but we'll see.
And then I'll be in the wheelchair, probably something floppy and sun blocking.
Yeah, I have a hat that my husband got me to go out and help him in the garden or whatever, which I rarely do, but I went and put that on because the sun gets to me after a while. And it's a big old floppy thing. So she'll probably be wearing that. So do look us up, say hi, and we'd love to hear from you. The podcast schedule, we are intending to podcast the 13th, that's next Saturday. The following week, we will not be podcasting. And then the week after that, the one after Shenandoah, we will probably podcast on Sunday morning. Because we won't have the ability to do it Saturday. We'll be too tired Saturday afternoon, most likely.
Yeah.
So unless we feel, for whatever reason, but we probably won't because we're not going to rush Shenandoah.
No.
So we'll probably podcast on Sunday morning. It might take a while for it to get up online because she has to work the next day.
Right. Because I think that is my first full week of work after No, I don't have a full week of work that week either because then I have my neurology appointment and I see Dr. Abdallah the day after that, and yes.
I mean, because Sunday, the one we do after Shenandoah, I have to get my Bible study started after that, and you can just set it up running, and then you can do whatever you have to do. Yeah. And whether or not it gets up or not, we'll see. But it might, but it might not. So that's that. So anything else?
No, I think that is it. Life is just very busy, but a lot of waiting room time for everyone else involved because I'm not permitted to, not by medical order, I'm not permitted by family to drive any large distances.
Because it comes like that. I mean, it hits her like that. She has started driving to work in the middle of the week. I drive her on the ends of the week so I can bring her wheelchair there and pick up her wheelchair, not have multiple car issues.
Yeah.
So we let her drive to work now. Let her drive to work now. But and she texts me when she gets there because I don't know from one minute to the next if she's gonna be able to even get out of her car. So
right, because it's very unpredictable. Best example, and actually we do need to tell this story because it does lead to funny. Rite Aid.
Oh,
this was funny. I had gotten new scripts. So I guess this would have been last Saturday after the podcast because I had seen Dr. Abdallah that Friday.
Yeah.
She'd given me new scripts, but my pharmacy's not open on the weekend. It was a long weekend, and I wanted to get these medicines filled. So we went in Saturday after the podcast, and I was feeling decent headed over there. Maybe a bit tired because setting up this equipment tires me out. And when we got there, while I was sitting I went from being okay to being very much not okay very, very, very quickly. Like trouble thinking, just feeling very awful. Very from like 1 minute to that, like that. But what was funny about it was I was starting to feel bad walking toward the pharmacy. So the way Rite Aid set up is you have the front door, and then in the very back
You have
is
to go
the
through the whole
pharmacy.
store.
You have to go through the whole store.
It's a Rite Aid, a typical Rite Aid.
Yeah. I don't know what they look like in other parts of the country, or in other countries, if they have them over there. But, so you have to go through the whole store to get to the actual pharmacy. So I was using the rollator, and wasn't feeling, I was wearing sweatpants, superhero t-shirt. I think I had bunny socks on. I had a pair of, like, low-cropped, what are those shoes Davina likes? The sneakers Davina likes? The high tops? But it was like a low-crop form of high tops.
They're kids. They're like kids.
And
with the reinforced toe.
Yeah, and I had one of my knitted. I had a Diana's hat on because my hair was, it was brushed, but it wasn't as under control as I'd liked it to be. So I knew I looked like crap.
I did not.
This guy walks past me, says hi, says something the fact that I look nice, and I nod at him, thank you, blah, blah, blah. And in the back of my head, I think, oh, that's kind of nice, because I know I look awful. That was nice of him to say something. Sit down at the pharmacy, because that's why I bring my rollator, so I can sit anytime I need to. And while I'm waiting for them to look for my medicines, he comes back and sits down by the pharmacy and starts chattering to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of half paying attention to him. I'm responding, but I'm starting to not feel well, really. And by the time Mom gets to me, I'm really not feeling awful. I know that the pharmacist is telling me things. I'm signing where he tells me to, but I'm really having trouble registering. So I back up in the rollator, and then I realize, no, I need to sit. I'm not okay. So I sit, and the guy actually started to pick up on the fact that I don't feel well.
Not the pharmacist.
No, the pharmacist. The pharmacist was in his own little world. The pharmacist didn't even register that anything was up with me. But the guy who had come back to talk to me at the pharmacy had noticed that I wasn't feeling well. And so he's like, well, I'm just going to sit here for a couple minutes. He sits, he talks, continues to compliment this, that, and the other. And I guess he told Mom that he would, if we needed him to, he would push the rollator. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't remember that part. I was really having trouble focusing.
He was an older gentleman.
Yeah, probably 50s.
Oh no, he was older than that.
Older than that, you think? Yeah. I have trouble judging age for some people. If they don't have like white hair.
He did.
Did he?
He had gray white hair. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You see, because I was really out of it. I really wasn't feeling well.
He was cute.
But we're getting. I'm rolling myself backwards because I don't quite feel up to walking myself out right. So I'm rolling myself backwards the entire way right. We're doing it very slowly. He books it across from the pharmacy where we left him back to the front door where we finally made it. And he says something about the fact of, I don't know, call me or whatever. And he actually hands me his number.
Name and number.
Name and number. And he runs back to the pharmacy.
He walked
back to the pharmacy then. But yeah,
really cute.
I looked at Mom, and as soon as we got out, I'm like, I think I just got hit on.
He was very, very sweet.
Yes.
And the thing about it was, he has a brain tumor, mm-hmm. and no, not malignant, thank God. But he was not focused on that. He was focused on other people, which was really, it was very sweet. He gave me a couple of compliments, and he made sure that Talia was okay, that we could get to the car, mm-hmm. and all that kind of stuff. And it's just very sweet.
And as I was telling a couple of friends that I had texted about it, I was like, what was fun about it and nice about it was I felt awful. I didn't feel like I looked that great because I was in the middle of a flare in the most comfortable clothes I had available. Not at all dressed to impress. So, and when I've been told when I get into flare, it can be quite apparent.
Oh yeah.
That's not true for everyone with POTS, but I've been told that it's very obvious.
She flushes.
That I'm not feeling well. So, to be hit on during that period of time was a little bit of an ego boost.
And I'm not even sure that's what it was, but it felt like it.
It felt like I was being.
Yeah. It was cute.
So,
Yeah, he was very cute. Yeah. He was.
obviously, I'm not calling, but it was amusing.
He was an angel when we needed an angel.
Yeah.
So he was very sweet, and I hope they can do something about his tumor.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, that's just a little
what was
bit.
he kept saying? I grew up. My aunt or my grandmother and my sister brought me up, and I know women.
You know, the funny thing is, if I had been more with them, I might go like, "Oh, and that's your first mistake to think that."
I said, "Oh, you do, huh?"
But I remember, like I said, I only remember pieces and parts of the conversation.
Yeah, he was very personable, very affable type of person. I think he was an angel sent there because we needed one. Mm-hmm. Or more specifically, Talia needed one.
But yes, so just a little bit of it gives you an idea of how fast the symptoms come on, while also giving you
Kind of an amusing antidote.
Yeah.
Okay. Anecdote, not antidote.
Yes, an antidote would be something else.
Yes. We want to thank all our people who have commented, whether it's in the group itself or on our YouTube channel. On YouTube, it was Angela, Gail, Sally, Wombat of Doom 53, Pat, and LNS Crafts. Thank you very much. If we missed anybody on YouTube or in the group, it's only because we just started podcasting. You weren't there. Okay?
Yeah.
We do appreciate it. And if we don't have anything else to say, I'll just say bye.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything else to
Okay,
say.
so we want to wish everyone a wonderful, blessed week full of knitting, crocheting, whatever it is that makes you happy. And we hope to see you back here for the Fun in the Woman Cave next week. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 371, and that's a wrap.
Bye.